residents from Sekhukhune, this is in Limpopo, they say they've had enough of illegal mining in their area. The Sekhukhune Residence Forum has now joined forces with the provincial government to deal with the crisis. They say police and law enforcement agencies are failing and are allegedly working with the corrupt mine bosses. This is where we find Mohlaoli, our colleague here at Newzroom Afrika. Tumaole, good morning to you. You've had the opportunity to scan the environment there. When the residents say they are now going to be working with the provincial government, is there an understanding that the provincial government also includes the police, which they say they have lost trust in? How's this arrangement going to work?
Well, Koli, it's all about accountability, and you rightly point out that very interesting contradiction there. And on the issue of accountability, residents are saying that with provincial government on board, they hope that the issue of policing that is not effective in terms of their grievances, in terms of their security, because illegal mining has literally come to their doorstep, and they say that they believe that with open dialogue, especially with the issue of traditional leadership as well intervening and being brought in, that there can be a lasting solution. So it's a conundrum that is double-edged, if one can put it that way, because on one side, as you pointed out, they are complaining quite bitterly that for the longest time, while this has been happening, it seems as if allegedly the police have been turning a blind eye or have been unable to get their forces or their authority stamped and to stamp out what is happening here. But let's just show you the extent of the problem before I bring in my guest, Koli, to show you what residents are talking about. There is something that can only be described as a gorge right in front of this house where I am in Atok, and you can see that the resident is trying to build their house, extend there. That process has since stopped because at any moment they fear that this gorge, if it collapses, it will take their home. However, they are unable to move anywhere else, saying that this is their home. And some residents have gone so far as to say, yes, they are also part of the mining or illicit mining operations here, because there is simply no development, no work and no jobs. But just spare a thought for the children that are around in this area. They're saying that the residents, of course, it poses a great risk to the lives of the children. And if my colleague continues to give you those shots, you can see that some of the properties are right on the edge. And with the heavy rains that we've been seeing, it's also a concern that this particular gorge might not hold. But we will bring in Malaka Pasha. He is of the Sekhukhune Residence Forum, a forum that has been for the longest while trying to get a handle on what is happening. Tate Pasha, you've been speaking to us on Newzroom Afrika. What do you make of what we're seeing here? It seems as if this problem is widespread in this area. How widespread is it?
It's very widespread, Tumo. In fact, almost every corner of these areas, you've got excavation going on. Almost at every house. It's a bit of, I don't know. But we understand the challenges that our communities are faced with in terms of unemployment, poverty and all that. But this illegal mining basically cannot be excused for anything else. We hope that even if the government basically is very prepared, if we are talking about bringing black people into mining, and this is not the best way to go about it. Surely, government has been advocating issues of small scale mining throughout its term of office since 1994 to date. Surely they can, find better ways in which this can be done.
And what about the law enforcement side of things? Because surely to mine, according to our laws in South Africa, you would need some kind of permit. You would need to have some kind of authorization, because you can't just mine willy-nilly. Even though we can see the evidence that beneath the soil there is some riches and people are trying to make a living. So where does the policing come in?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know what this police in South Africa are doing, whether it's National Intelligence Agency, security, the entire security cluster as to what they're doing beats the hell out of me. What the hell are they doing? The whole country, basically, the whole of this area has been going on for the last 15 years. All we hear is about what they come here now and then to do, to arrest few trucks, to show us if they're doing something. But they're doing absolutely nothing. So we're saying that, well, we understand the challenges that our people are faced with in terms of unemployment and poverty. But this is not the way in which you go about it. There's environmental mismanagement of this area. Children are at risk. Everybody else, including the very people that get some of these small payments or kickback for the mining in their yard. It's a risk to them. So we really appeal. We need to have a serious dialogue, because we think that both the police, the traditional leaders, especially in Sekhukhune, and the provincial government, the national government, can play a role. I mean, basically in trying to bring down the rate of this illegal mining in our area.
All right. No, thank you very much for those insights. That was Malakache Pasha from the Sekhukhune Residence Forum, just giving us an overview of the myriad challenges that have led to the situation, Koli. An unbelievable sight by any stretch of the imagination. But that's where we leave it for now. Back to you.
Tumaole Mohlaoli live for us in the area of Sekhukhune. Illegal mining, it continues to be a problem in South Africa. When